Welcome back to Chocolate Truths and Worship by Iskal in Sky, a channel where we talk about life truths, sharing the word of the Lord, share testimonies, and worship music. Thank you for tuning in. I'm very excited for this edition because it's been such an eye-opening season for me, and I just want to dive right in and share. This past weekend, I was blessed. I was blessed to go on a retreat with some friends. We sing in the same choir, a very good choir, full of very good singers, just to mention. So we went to Kajiado to a ranch called Olelek. Gosh, this place was very beautiful. Everything about it was so surreal, like the plantations around, the mountains, the river that was just, we actually had two rivers. The house was in the middle of two rivers. The trees growing from rocks, you know. We never really take time to just marvel at the creation of the Lord, and truly there's a lot to marvel at. So I was blessed to take on to this getaway. At first I knew, it's a choir retreat, it's just going to be music stuff, singing, and I don't mind per se, but I wasn't prepared for the beauty I saw to begin with and the experience I had there all together. On Friday, we got there, settled in. There was a lot of food. I'm a foodie. I ate a lot. There was a lot of food. In the evening, around a fire, we were just singing hymns, sharing what the hymns mean to us. I personally shared Blessed Assurance. Blessed Assurance, for those who don't know, it's Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Just that line alone, what does blessed assurance mean to me? I'm assured that Jesus is mine, that regardless of what's happening in the world, what I've done, what the world does, Jesus is mine. God is mine. He'll never leave me. He'll never forsake me. He's there for me. That is my best hymn. And everybody had a chance to share their hymn. We actually did it in charades, kinda. People wrote down their special hymns, and you had to guess whoever's hymn that was, and the person would get to share their heart about that hymn. So what stood out for me was Saturday morning. We were meant to wake up in silence and remain in silence. Anyone who knows me, you probably by right now know silence and Iskal in the same line is an oxymoron. Yeah, oxymoron. I can't shut up. I don't shut up. Okay, I try nowadays. But then my natural nature is just to shout, is to talk. Yeah, but I thank God I'm learning to listen. Either way, it was such... I was not really up for it because, guys, silence, okay, fine. Anyway, it had to happen whether I liked it or not. And I had a roommate who is a noisemaker like I. But anyway, I had to keep silent. Yes. So why it stood out? In that moment of silence, everybody retreated to a particular place. People were walking up to the rocks, walking around the pathways, and just reflecting over their lives, you know. Some people took time to pray. But what did I do? I took my journal. As I've said a million times, I journal a lot. So I took my journal, so I started reading through my journal, and it was coming to light how God has been so faithful in my life, you know. The prayers I made in 2019, how they were answered, the plans I am making right now, how things are currently turning out in my life. Everything was just making sense, and in that moment, I felt this sense of gratefulness. Like, I was so thankful. I was so grateful for the goodness of the Lord. It's like I'd never known God was doing all this in my life until that moment when I was just alone with my thoughts that I'd written down some way back, and how God had answered them. So I feel like that moment took me back so much, the goodness of the Lord. I started even reflecting over my health. For those who know me, you know I'm a lupus patient. I will get to that one day on this channel. I need courage to talk about that. You know I'm a lupus patient, so just thinking of how God has been faithful, knowing that most of lupus patients always have caregivers. They don't live alone. They ever in hospital beds, you know. I was so grateful that the last time I was in a hospital bed was 2015. You know, it's been 5 years. God has been so good. God has been so faithful. I found myself reading through the prayers I made over my family, seeing how God has done so many good things. And the fact that we were in silence also got me into a very deafening situation. Let me just say the silence was deafening, in that I could clearly hear my thoughts. You know, things I thought I had overcome, situations I thought I was past. They were coming and they felt so fresh. I was feeling hurt again by those who had hurt me. I was feeling alone. It's funny. I was feeling like, I don't know. I was again, I feel there's so many things about my life I'm supposed to be confronting, but then my subconscious mind has suppressed them so hard that the hustle and bustle of the daily life does not allow them to come up, that I may be aware that I need to be confronting such and such. You know, and I feel most of us are in that position. You are so used to a routine. You are so used to doing things. You never take time and just sit down with your thoughts. No one talking to you, no distractions, and just start reflecting over your life, because everything for you is perfect, because that is the lifestyle you're used to. Being in silence in such a beautiful, calm scenery, it was so surreal. Like my thoughts came alive, you know. Those times when I always feel like, yes, my identity is in check, I found myself questioning some things about me. You know, for the longest time I was battling, what is the best word that I can use for this? I was battling with accepting that I'm actually a good singer and I've actually been called into worship by God. I was battling with that because everybody around me was singing so good. Gosh, you know, to the point that you're jealous of people because you desire to become like someone and not like the person God has called you to be. Yes, I was in that position, and during that moment of silence, it actually came, it was so vivid that I had not overcome that. I had not overcome the insecurity I have over my voice. I know people tell me, oh my God, you're such a good singer. And most people who sing can relate. At times you don't think like you're the best singer. The person singing next to you is way better than you. Well, it is said the grass is greener on the other side. The problem is that you don't water your side. No, my friends, I've been watering my side for the longest time. But either way, that aside, that feeling of incompetence, that feeling of not being good enough, it became so vivid. You know, those times you're like, I've overcome, I've made it, I'm now confident, I know I can do this, I know I'm good at this. Then for some reason life throws someone who you feel is better. Guys, I thought I had overcome. Yeah, that day it became real. Feelings I've been battling with, feelings of being alone, feelings of being left by people. Ever since childhood, being called a bully, you know, I started remembering all those things. Being told I'm harassing people, being told I am too loud. You know, those things you feel like in your mind you've overcome. Sorry about that. That was my... Ignore that. Those things in your mind you feel like you have overcome. Those things you've moved past in the physical. But then there is the pain is suppressed. And until you're alone, whereby there is no one making any sounds around you, is when they come to life. Following that experience, I've been looking into the word of the Lord, what it actually, the correlation between silence and God's word. And one of the things that stood out for me was Psalm 37:4. It says, listen to God in the silence of your heart, and he will make his plans known to you. God will only make his plans known to you when you're in silence. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, that when you're talking and someone else is talking, you can barely hear them. And I'm going to relate that into this situation right now. The fact that you are ever so loud, ever so like me, the fact that you are ever me. Let me use myself as an example because I'm battling with the essence of just staying quiet and listening to God and listening to my suppressed thoughts. Someone would say suppressed memory, but I think at times we naturally suppress things because of how much they have broken us, how much they have taken away from us. And most people would find this strange, though we need to talk to people about the things we are suppressing so much, because there's a time they will crop out and we will not have the energy to deal. We will not have the energy to deal. Right now, there's so much that is coming into my mind because I am thinking of all those things I have been through, the memories I have chosen to suppress, some so depressing, some I can get on by. But what I want to ask, there's so many things we're supposed to be confronting, but we cannot confront them because we are living in noisy environments, unfortunately for us who are in Nairobi. But that does not stop us from going away somewhere and just allowing yourself to process life, allowing yourself to think, allowing yourself to listen. Because when your intention is to hear from God, God is going to speak to you. I'm planning to actually go away, but on my own this time, because I feel that experience was a taste of what I need to have. There is so much I need to confront. There is so much I need to deal with. And I have made peace with the fact that I am not even close to getting to where I want to be as a complete human being. I know our completeness is made in the glory of the return of Christ, but as I'm living in this world, I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I don't want when someone else comes into my space, I feel like they want to take things from me. I feel like they are competing with me, because that has happened before, and those are the things I need to get off my system. It's a process and I'm willing to take it. And my advice is, take yourself out of the noise, allow yourself to think, allow yourself to just deal with the things of life that you are fighting so hard and suppressing. Silence is good. The word of the Lord tells us, be still and know that I am God. That in your stillness, you will feel his power overwhelm you. You'll feel his presence overwhelm you. And that is what I pray for all of us. Well, as for the rest of the retreat, it was a lot of games, a lot of bonding, getting to know each other better. We had an amazing Sunday service oh my God. We had an amazing church service on Sunday. It was beautiful. A high Anglican service is very beautiful, just doing the normal litany of the service. It was amazing with the Holy Communion. I can go on and talk about how beautiful my weekend was, but I don't want you guys to forget the essence of what I've just spoken about, the essence of silence. We all need silence in our life at a point. Thank you so much for reaching this point. I'm grateful for everyone who has been reaching out, everyone who has been commenting, those who are encouraging me, those who have had good critique, bad critique, whatever kind of critique. I really appreciate, because that is the only way I can get better. So continue liking, continue commenting. If you feel like you need to dislike, go ahead and dislike. We gotta do what makes us happy, right? I know a friend will actually just do that for fun, but it is well. Those who haven't subscribed, hit the red button down below and join this family. There are more topics coming ahead. Yes, I'll get to those heavy topics. I will. May God give me grace. Otherwise, be blessed and bye.
Tamweka na Sara. Watu wa shapu. Kama naso. Some guy.
These terrains are beautiful.
Glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior.